Why do you want them to listen to your podcast?
So that when they think about starting a business, they've got the content that is pointing them in the right direction.
That is such a valuable piece of advice there.
The change in mindset makes a massive difference.
Welcome to Aussie Lawn Stars.
Welcome to the dungeon. Hey, how you doing, Craig?
Good, thank you, Gary. How are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing all right. It's been a bit of a wet day in Kurrambong and just hiding from the weather in the dungeon. So.
Yeah, we didn't get much down here, but we've had a bit of rain, so that's enough.
Yeah, we just had it on and off. You'd get a little bit of work done and then you'd all of a sudden get wet. And I was whippersnipping this morning. So when you're whippersnipping long grass, you end up with slug splatter and all that sort of stuff all over you, and constantly just
mess.
Wiping it off my face. I went to get some lunch, and after I'd been standing in the shop getting my lunch, I'm wiping my face and I'm going, oh man, I've got slugs all over my face.
Nice. Yeah, I know the feeling.
Oh yeah, that's part of the job, isn't it?
Yeah, and it could be worse.
There are worse things, definitely. Yeah. Anyway, you're not too far from me, and we actually caught up face to face at the Ellie show a couple of months ago.
We did.
We didn't get a hug, but we at least said hello.
That's right. Yeah, I'm in the Southern Shire, so Sydney anyway, and not too far.
Yeah, okay. Sutherland Shire would be southwest, is it?
From Newcastle way, yes, due south, I guess.
I'm thinking in terms of which part of Sydney it is, sort of the southern western.
We're southeast, so we're on the coast, near Cronulla.
Okay, yep. So when I went down to Wollongong, I would have gone straight through your area.
Pretty much, yeah. You would have gone through the Southern Shire, down the highway.
Well, I avoided paying tolls because I'm like, if I'm going to Wollongong, why would I want to pay tolls? And
True.
So, yeah. Skip through the middle near Parramatta, down through Ryde, I think it was, and then once you get across the harbour, straight down, and I can't remember the names.
Yeah, you
of all
missed
the
tolls there. We used to have a toll on the F1, I think it was, down the south coast, but they got rid of that about 20 years ago.
Sounds like the toll on the what's now considered M1, but it was the F3 going up to Newcastle.
Yeah, the tolls everywhere there.
Yeah. So your area, do you cover a very large area? Are you sort of travelling from day to day in different directions, or you stick close to home? Do you remember the interview I did with Chris Guillaume that was saying his radius from home is 1.6 kilometres?
Yes. Mine's not that good. Mine's probably 10 kilometres, but I stick to the Southern Shire now.
That's pretty darn good, though, 10 kilometres. That's similar to what I was doing for a large part of my business.
Yep. I used to have a bigger run over in the St George area, but now I stick to this side of the bridges, as in Captain Cook Bridge, Tom Ugly Bridge. So I'm Menai to Cronulla, basically, in that line.
Yeah, okay. So what sort of jobs do you take on in that area? I'm guessing it's mostly residential, but are you picking up commercial jobs, acreage work?
No acreage here, but mine are mostly, I'd say 70% residential, 30% industrial and commercial work. Industrial factories, things like that.
Yeah, okay. A lot of people ask the question, what actually constitutes residential and what constitutes industrial or commercial or acreage? From time to time, you just get people very confused as to what it actually looks like, particularly when I say I do commercial work. They're like, well, what is that?
Yeah.
For me, I class commercial work as pretty much anything that is working for a business. So if the business owns a property and you're doing their property, then it's usually commercial work, unless that business owns residential property.
Yes, true. Yes, mine, when I say residential, houses that are occupied by tenants or owners. Yes, commercial is industrial factories with their common strata property out the front. Business-owned properties. I do a lot of those on the weekend when there's no residents there, because that's where you're spraying poison and things like that.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. It's hard to do it before the sun comes up when you're talking about spray applications. Got to get
Yeah.
some warmth in the grass to do that.
Yes, and there's no one around on the weekends, whereas during the week there's people running around everywhere and sitting on the grass having lunch, things like that.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned the word strata in there. So a lot of businesses are in a strata arrangement, but a lot of people refer to strata as residential strata, where you've got a block of units or
Yes.
even independent dwellings, but they're all on the common ground.
Yes, we do a lot of residential strata, and probably I guess my background is I used to do just mowing only.
Right.
But then when we got into the stratas, of course, they want groundwork, gardening done, weeding. So
Yep.
we got into that, and that's been really good. That's just opened it all up a bit and given us a better revenue stream, I guess.
Yeah, I found strata really interesting because when I first started looking at strata, it was from listening to American podcasts, and they use their own terminology for this sort of stuff. But basically, I looked at it and I was like, the only strata jobs around here that I know of, I don't want them.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have been the same. It's like you don't want to do the strata work because you just got a bunch of residents coming out, whinging at you, thinking they own you and your time. And then other people are like, I love strata because I can be in and out. I don't have to talk to anyone, really quick and good profit margin on it.
Well, it's good. Yeah, there is that. There's a bunch of Karens that come and talk to you, but
Yep.
you just got to deal with it, really. I mean, most of my stratas, and I've probably got 10 to 12, they give you a budget of, for example, 7,000 a year.
Yeah.
And they really don't care what you do as long as you don't go over that budget, which I find is good.
I quoted a strata up here on Lake Macquarie, and it's like a waterfront property with a bunch of units. So one big house, one big building, I should say, bunch of units.
Yeah.
And when I looked at it, I was warned that there were residents that were difficult there, and that's the reason why they were doing a quote. And I made sure my quote was such that I wasn't going to get it unless they really wanted me. Pretty much everybody was like, "Oh, he actually knows what he's talking about, and looks like he'll deliver the service." Whereas the current gardener is, you're lucky if he turns up when he's charging.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
they ended up comparing my price with the current gardener, and they're like, we're better off paying the current gardener even if he doesn't turn up.
Well, yeah, as long as they want to get the job done, but sometimes they've got to pay for that. But
yeah,
I know
well,
yeah,
in this case, they want to get the job done, but I didn't want to be the one doing it.
yeah. And you've got the issue, which a lot of the guys on the LMCA site talk about, getting paid by the agent. That's always an issue, but most of mine are pretty good.
Yeah.
Most of mine I get paid within a couple of weeks, so that's not too bad.
And that strata was managed by a real estate agent too, which I was dealing with that agent for a number of other properties, but I was not keen on doing strata.
Yeah.
Particularly that one.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I've got probably 10 to 12 of those now, and keeps me and the boys busy.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So with the residential jobs that you do, are you finding that you got properties which you only use push mower on? I think, did we let that slip already, but you're not into acreage, but what size would your residential blocks be?
My residential house blocks are probably, they're not big, 500 to 650 square metres.
So that's the full block size, or is that how much lawn?
That's the full block. So there's a house in the middle of it. So that's where I've got a couple of ride-ons. I had a stander. I got rid of the stander, but I've got two ride-ons, but they hardly ever come out, to be honest.
Oh, what size stander did you have?
I had a Wright 32 stander.
Yeah. And did you find it wasn't productive on those size jobs, or it wasn't the best tool for the job?
To be honest, it didn't agree with my body, I guess, is probably the best way. I got a new hip and a new knee a couple of years ago.
Yes.
I just found sitting down was more comfortable for me. So that's why I have two ride-ons.
So you said you got a new knee?
A rebuilt knee, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's interesting because typically I would recommend a stander for people that have knee issues rather than the sit stand on the normal zero turn. But that's interesting for you. It's the opposite.
I think it was more my new hip, which I got in 2021 that sort of just didn't feel right. So sitting down on my, I've got a little Toro 32-inch time cutter.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty comfortable.
Now, I'm sitting here looking at your face and I'm going, yeah, Greg looks similar age to me, but he's talking about replacing joints in his body. And I'm going, I went for a 4-day motorbike ride 3 weeks ago and my body still hasn't recovered from it. My neck is sort of permanently tilted to this side. And if I tilt it to this side, I get sharp pain through my shoulder and tingling in my fingers. I'm like, oh, maybe I am a similar age to Craig.
I'm 50, next birthday, 59.
So
I reckon
you're
I'm a bit older.
12 years older than me.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling every bit of it at the moment. I could be 59. I could pass for it with all the aches and pains I got.
Yeah.
But,
That's when
so
I started feeling in my late 40s.
So you started around my age because I'm 47.
I started feeling pain in that age.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yep.
No,
Okay.
I started lawn mowing when I was 16, actually.
Started lawn mowing at 16.
Yep.
Okay. So you've been doing this for a long time then?
Yes, I did get out of it in my 30s. I did some other stuff, real estate, owned a couple of coffee shops.
Yeah.
But I got back into it full time at 39, so nearly 20 years ago.
Yeah, okay. So when you did it the first time, were you working for yourself or working for somebody else?
Yes, I was working for myself. It was, when I was 16, it was at my dad's factory at Kirrawee, and that was every second Sunday. He would drop me off. I'd mow the lawns for 4 hours, get the $160, I think it was, which I thought was great at that, in the 80s or 70s, no, 80s.
Yeah.
$40 an hour or so.
Yeah.
I did that for probably 10 years and just, build up on that. So, I've always worked for myself.
Yeah, okay. So the move into coffee shops was a business venture anyway.
Yeah, that was with my ex-wife, and it didn't end well. We had to get rid of those.
Yeah.
So that's when I went back into lawn mowing.
Efficiency is the thing that rules a business and the decisions you make as a small business owner. Right Mowers give you the options in their product lineup to match efficiency with size, fuel usage, and the type of jobs you want to target, from catching to mulching or side discharge, from roadside verges to acreages, and manicured lawns to 6 feet tall and super long. I've been using the Right Stander I 42-inch with a Catch Pro for manicured areas and the Stander ZK61 to maximise productivity for large open acreage mowing. If you need to replace your push mower, try the 32-inch Stander B. If you have more open access to residential properties, there's a 42 through to 48-inch option that suits you. And if you want to enter the acreage market, the 52, 61 and 72-inch machines have choices in engine size and model type to suit the work you want it to do. Right Standards go the distance, saving you time and money, season after season.
I was just talking to somebody today about my ex-wife. And the old adage, and you being a couple of years older than me would appreciate this, right? When back in the day, when you got married, it's meant to be forever.
True. But
I had that approach in my first marriage, and then when it went south, it took me a couple of weeks to go, hang on a minute, this whole thing that marriage is supposed to be forever, clearly in some cases you need to be able to pull the pin and say, hey, there's some boundaries here that have been stepped over. I'm pulling the pin. See you later.
Yep. Yeah, that's how it happened. But I've just got remarried again in May this year.
Congratulations.
April this year. And that's going well.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Good to know. So 20 years in this business.
Yes, 20 years full-time, the last 20 years, yeah.
Plus previous experience.
Yes.
And I find that interesting that you're basically running push mowers as a very small sit-down mower. So that's a zero turn. You said the time cutter.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We run the we've got a few different mowers, but we have the Toro 30-inch Time Master, I think it is, and just bought the Ego battery commercial mower. That's pretty good.
Yeah, nice.
Since the expo, I saw that there, Barry.
Yeah, I don't have one of those. How are you finding it?
Great. Yeah, excellent. It's got more power than I thought it would.
I would guess from most reactions it's got more power than a Honda 216, so you'd probably feel like it's pretty good at cutting grass.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only question mark that comes up is probably typical of battery mowers is how low the blade hangs in the deck and whether it's a little bit too high, so it's hard to get a low cut on it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I haven't really had that issue yet because, we do a bit of mulching and a bit of mowing. And as you know, the mulch lawns are a little bit spongier. So that's not really a big issue yet.
Now, that lawnmower, I believe, would be quite good at mulching. I think any of the blades that are like a bar blade on a push mower tend to do really good at mulching.
Mm. It does, yes. We've done a bit of both. Yeah, to be honest, you can't tell the difference, but it mulches very well.
Yeah, awesome. And any thoughts on battery run times with that? Are you getting through a full day with 5 batteries, 1 battery?
We haven't probably done a full day with it yet, so we've probably done a few lawns, but
yeah,
I've got about 12 of those batteries now because I've been buying a lot of the Ego stuff with redemptions, so
that's a good way to do
I
it.
keep getting the free batteries, so I don't think I'll be running out in a hurry, hopefully.
That's great. So you got about 12 batteries. How many of them are 10 and 12 amp batteries?
I haven't got any 12s. I've got 2 10s, quite a few 7.5s and 5s.
Yeah.
When I bought the products, the blowers, the STX 4500 Whipper, I think it was, the Blade Edger, they all came with the 5s and the 7.5s.
Yeah.
So I think I'm running the 2 10s in the commercial mower at the moment.
Yep. Yeah, I've got the older Select cuts and not even the XP, and it came with the quick charger and 2 10s. And I find most of the tools where weight is an issue, even a little bit, the 5s are the best option. But the blower, I love running the 7.5 on.
Okay, yep. Yeah, the boys chop and change them all the time. I don't know what they're putting in there half the time, but the 5s and the 7.5s, they seem to last a bit longer, of course. So.
Yeah. So you keep mentioning the boys. How many people are working with you?
I've got 2 casuals now. They young 20-year-olds. They work at between 2 and 4 days each a week.
Yeah, okay.
They've only come on in the last year or so.
So you're basically running one crew, not a second vehicle?
That's right. Well, I do have a second ute, but I'm always predominantly I'm with them.
Yeah, okay.
Mainly because, well, it started out I wanted to sort of supervise them a bit, but I do leave them for the gardening side of jobs. I do leave the 2 of them on site sometimes. So that's where the second vehicle comes in handy. And I may go and do a lawn down the road or something.
Yeah. So you said that's in the last 12 months you've had those 2 guys on. Have you been employing people across the 20 years, or is this only very recent that you've been employing?
Predominantly I've been by myself, the last 20 years. Yeah, I've been just by myself, mowing blowers, people call it.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing. Yeah. I think if you're comfortable with that and dealing with employees is a hassle that you don't want to deal with, then why not?
Yes, well, I had a bit of experience with employees when I had the coffee shop, so I'd done that. But in terms of this lawn mowing business, that was all a bit of a leap for me. I knew what to do, so I'm managing that pretty well. All the super, the workers' comp, income tax, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you already got the experience from the coffee shop, so you know how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with your setup, you running a ute or a van or a truck?
I have 2 utes and 1 trailer. That's attached to either one of the utes, just depending on if the boys need them at the site. I might take the ute off the trailer, leave the trailer there for them to fill it up, sort of thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've got 1 tabletop ute and another enclosed, like a dual cab ute.
Yeah, okay. So the dual cab's like your normal tub with a canopy on it.
Yeah, lockable. So all the whippers and blowers are in there.
Yeah, fair enough.
The trailer just has the front mower box and the rest in the back for the green waste.
Yeah, okay. So you covered your vehicles and your trailer with signs?
Yes, just sort of large magnets, I suppose.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't had a proper wrap yet, which I'm looking at doing that soon.
It costs a little bit more than the magnets.
Yeah, a couple of grand, I think.
Yeah, I've seen wraps vary from like your very basic wrap, which I've done on the back of my Hilux Ute. It's got a like a box canopy on the back of my Hilux, and I just got a basic wrap that allows me to have Aussie Lawn Stars all over the Ute.
No, good. Yeah.
But if you do a full wrap, that can be like $4 or $5 grand or even more.
Okay. Well, both my utes are getting a little bit long in the tooth.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of reluctant to do that on these utes. I think
okay.
I'll wait and see if I get a new one the next year or so.
Yeah, it's easy to rack the keys up on the Utes pretty quickly, isn't it?
Yeah, true, yeah.
I bought mine May last year with about 55,000 Ks on it, and now it's just about to hit 100,000.
Yeah, well, mine are both at 210, I think, so they're getting up there.
Yeah, they probably got a fair bit of life left in them if they're a decent brand, if they're not Ford or something.
Yeah. No, one's a Mitsubishi, one's a Mazda.
Yeah, so you might get 300 out of them or more.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Mazda BT50 is pretty strong, tows the trailer well.
Yeah, the BT50s have been a pretty good workhorse, but they're a Ford underneath, aren't they?
Could be, yeah.
It depends what year it is. I think the newer BT50s are an Isuzu underneath.
Yeah, this is 2013, so it's it's pretty old.
Yeah, I was going to say, judging by the amount of Ks you got on it, it's probably the Ford.
Yeah, right.
Because it's only the newer ones that are the Isuzus.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've had Fords before and they haven't ended well. That's been a problem.
Look, I don't hate Ford. I just love ripping off Ford.
Yeah.
But, it's plenty of horror stories go around. But then that's the case with a lot of things.
Yeah. Fix or repair daily, it stands for, doesn't it?
Found on rubbish dumps. We could go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you've got a fair range of battery tools with Ego.
Yep.
What about other tools in your arsenal? You would have been running a fair bit of petrol options before you switched to battery, given your 20-year span.
Yes. I've only just gone to Ego over the last year, I guess, and that's the only battery I've tried, except for a little still, the little hand chainsaws with the battery built in. But
yep.
All the rest of petrol, I've got Shindawa whippers, Honda whippers, the Honda mower, HRU, 6, the Torrid Time Master. I've got a Bush Ranger mower, and now the Ego. So, yeah, it's a bit of a mix there.
Yeah, okay. How do you find the Bush Ranger?
Good. Yeah, good. It's nice and strong. It's getting on a bit now. I've probably had that 4 years.
Now, they're somewhat comparable to a Honda in terms of build quality. Is it running the Honda engine or the Lonson?
That's the Lonson engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strong. It's had a few little things, minor things, wheels coming off, the rubber part, the tyre, I guess it is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's there's been a couple of Bush Ranger models that have had to upgrade their wheels because of those issues.
Yeah, nothing major, but my local Bush Ranger mechanic closed up, so I don't know where I'm going to take it now. So I might have to learn how to do it myself.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd be able to find another Bush Ranger dealer somewhere, but
there's one at Beverly Hills, which is probably 25 minutes from me. So
that's right. There is a Beverly Hills down your way, isn't there? Yeah. So you're saying that your area is mostly fairly small residential properties, sort of that mid-size 450 to 650 actual property size. Are they older? I'm just trying to get a bit of a feel for this. Is there a lot of new houses built in your area?
They're all older properties, and unfortunately those 600 square metre block is getting chopped up to 200-300, so they're building duplexes everywhere.
That doesn't surprise me. So there'd be a lot of newer properties in amongst the older ones where they've just redeveloped, smashed the house down or renovated it.
Yeah, heaps of these duplexes, the 2-on-1 where you've got to battle the hot water tanks, the air conditioning units down the side, rainwater tanks, just to get the mower past. But
In
postage.
some senses, your area would be one of the suburbs that had a earlier increase in population density in Sydney, because I know it went from sort of central Sydney to more peripheral, being south like you, or out Parramatta, or heading north around Hornsby, and then gradually more and more farmland heading west has been subdivided and turned into small blocks as well. But
Yeah.
that fits with my thoughts in terms of your area being that medium density population. It's been there for, what would you guess, 30 years? It's been
I
more
guess
than 30 years.
most of the houses around here were built in the 70s and 80s,
So that's 50 years or more.
50 to 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And now those houses are getting knocked down and duplexes or units. That's a lot of units going up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's sort of the turnaround. Houses or good house blocks are slowly disappearing.
And along with good house blocks, because they're sort of 40 to 50 years of age, people who have been in the area a long time have they probably bought them for $20,000-$30,000, if that.
Yep.
And now if they're people that have been there for a long time, they would be looking for the cheaper mows, I'm guessing, rather than willing to pay a bit extra to have it looking really good.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you're right about house prices. They've gone up a lot, but like anywhere. But for our business, there's still, I guess, as people get busier and busier, there's still a good call, for our services, which is keeping me enthused and confident.
Yeah, and I was talking to somebody else about this the other day in terms of the market cap, where people start going, the price is getting too high. I don't think I'll pay somebody to mow my lawn anymore. I'll do it myself. And I've seen this across the last, it's almost 15 years I've been in business now, where you find that cap with some people in your area, and you start judging your pricing by that and going, oh, okay, if I've pushed the limits a little bit too far on, and I'm happy to do it, but if I push the limits too far, I start losing a lot more jobs.
Yeah. Yes, well, there's always that. I guess our probably major price range or common price range would be $70 to $90 for a house block. We try and do 2 of those an hour if we can.
That is spot on with what this other person said, that $80 is the cap at the moment, right? So they're looking at their average property in their area. A person is willing to spend $80 a fortnight to get their lawn looked after. But you punch it up to $100 a fortnight, see you later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, once you add that extra figure on, the triple figures, that's a whole new ballgame.
It's an interesting phenomenon when you're talking about marketing and how you price your properties to be competitive, because you want to make money. You don't want to run backwards. But if you overcharge, then you lose the customers. And I guess that raises another question. Do you offer additional services, or you mentioned the word mow and yo before. So do you just literally pull the mower out, do the mow and off you run? Do you do the edges, the the traditional thing we see is you got to edge, blow, mow, blow.
That's right. Yes, well, we do that. But as I said before, the last year or so, we've got more into the gardening side of it as well.
Yeah.
And that probably prompted me to put the workers on, because I'm thinking, okay, I've got to offer that service, but I don't particularly want to do it myself because I've got some hip and knee issues.
Yes.
So I guess yes, we do gardening, hedge trimming, but I use the staff more for that.
So this I would still place in value adding. So it's an existing customer already. You've got them on their lawns, and then you add services that are extra to that to gain more business without having to find new customers. But do you offer peripheral services that are adding value to the lawn itself, like adding fertilizer, weed treatment, grub treatment? Do you put anyone on lawn programs?
Yes. A couple of the stratas I do fertilizing, and every 3 months. I'm looking, and with the gardening side of it, I'm starting to look at along with similar things that Luke Smith talks about, package sort of deals.
Yeah.
And doing that every 2 months, for example, for the gardening, hedges, weed treatment where needed, fertilising, etc. But at the moment, we've got our set lawn jobs, plus we just do the add-on for the gardening and that sort of thing. But with the strata properties that I talked about before, yes, they're on a program. They're pretty much every 2 months or 6 times a year, and that's hedging, weeding. But the lawn mowing of that one property, for example, would be every 2 weeks, and then monthly in winter.
Yeah, okay.
The old 22 cuts a year sort of thing.
Yep. Sounds pretty much smack bang on with what most people do in Australia.
Yeah, but we have taken on a lot more. You talked about new customers. I've added a lot of new customers recently.
Yeah.
Because they were looking for people that do more than just lawn mowing. And in my new webpage, I've got a new webpage recently, it talks about that we do gardening, we do hedge trimming, etc.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of people they said, oh, our guy only does lawns, So we've picked up new ones for that.
So when you've poached those customers, have you taken the lawns as well as the gardening, or does the old guy still come in and do the lawns with some of them?
There's one that he still does the lawns and I do the gardening. But most people, as you know, they want someone to do the whole lot. So, yeah, we've just grabbed it all.
Yeah, I do find that interesting because some people want to be loyal to their existing lawn guy and, okay, the lawn guy does this and you come in and do the other stuff. And some people are quite particular about not poaching business off other people as well. So
true. Yeah, it's the one I'm thinking of. She is very loyal to the current lawn guy and he does it. I'm fine with that. We just go in and do the garden cleanup.
Yeah.
So
and sooner or later he won't do it. And when he's not available to do it anymore, it would make perfect sense for her to go, okay, Craig, you do the whole lot.
Yeah. Yeah, he is actually talking about moving, north. So
there you go.
We'll get that
Just
then.
a matter of time.
Yeah. I'll just wait.
Yep, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, no point pushing the issue when she's got that loyalty to him.
Yeah. And this way she gets both jobs done. That's fine,
Are you thinking of leaving your job to start a profitable and enjoyable lawn and garden business? Aussie Lawn Stars shares stories, lessons, and advice to help you grow a healthy, productive, efficient, and sustainable business. Got questions or want more information? Contact Aussie Lawn Stars at iCloud.com or reach out to Gary Ashton on Facebook or Messenger for personal help. But beware, your question may end up in a podcast episode. For business coaching that ensures the right mindset and decision-making approach, check out Think Tank Coaching. Their website is https://thinktankcoaching.com.au. They've been instrumental in helping me and can guide you towards achieving your business goals. You can also email them at thinktankcoaching@outlook.com. Need to set up best practices for bookkeeping, accounting, and business structure? Contact Adrian from Prosper Financial at 0249773363. And don't forget to join Lawn Mowing Contractors Australia and Australian Professional Lawn Contractors Facebook groups. Great supportive communities focused on our industry.
Thank you for listening to Aussie Lawn Stars. Please remember to rate and review the show on the Apple Podcasts app or the player you use. Exciting new shows are released every Monday. Make sure you follow or subscribe to hear the next episode.